The regular meeting of the Aurora City Council for Monday, April 22nd, 2024 is called to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Kaufman.
Here.
Councilmember Bergen.
Here.
Councilmember Coombs.
Present.
Councilmember Gardner. Councilmember Hancock.
Here.
Councilmember Drinsky.
Here.
Councilmember Lawson.
Here.
Councilmember Medina.
Here.
Councilmember Murillo.
Present.
Councilmember Stenberg.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Zavanek.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Announcement for the public call-in line.
City Council welcomes feedback from the public on both matters appearing on the agenda and during public invited to be heard. If you would like to speak and have not already spoken to an operator, please press *3. For those watching on Channel 8, call 855-695-3475 and press *3 when connected. You will hear a prompt confirming you're in line to speak to an operator and then be able to continue listening to the meeting. When the operator comes on the line, please be ready to give them your name and agenda item you wish to speak on. Keep in mind you must press *3 before the city clerk reads the title of the item you wish to speak on. Finally, as a reminder, council does not allow comments about any items on the agenda during public invited to be heard. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes, and public invited to be heard is limited to 1 hour in total.
El Consejo Municipal de la Ciudad de Aurora da la bienvenida a la opinión de sus habitantes y otros vecinos en asuntos comparecientes en la agenda y durante la invitación a la audiencia. Esta sesión tiene disponible interpretación en español. Por favor, háganos saber si usted necesita ese servicio. Recuerde que el Consejo no permite comentarios de la audiencia mientras se dirige a asuntos de la agenda del día. Por favor, confirme su turno y espere la invitación para comentario público y no puede ir más de 3 minutos. Gracias.
Please join me in an invocation. O Lord, our God and our Father, we come to you and we ask that you would look upon this particular gathering tonight to keep us safe and guide us in our decisions. Bless our city with honorable citizens, industry, and sound education and good government. Unite our community together even though we come from different backgrounds. We pray that there be justice and peace in our city. Give the city council and citizens the wisdom, direction, and sensitivity to the business and proceedings before us tonight. Hear us, therefore, as we commit this meeting to the help of the community. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A land acknowledgement. The city of Aurora acknowledges that we gather on the territories and ancestral homelands of the Cheyenne, Ute, Arapaho, and Lakotas peoples, past and present. We also recognize that 48 contemporary tribal nations that are historically tied to the lands that make up the state of Colorado. Indigenous peoples have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties that these nations have to their traditional homelands and to their vital place in the ecosystem are renewed and reaffirmed, and we are called upon to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as we continue to work to meet the needs of our entire community. Motion is in order for the approval of the minutes from April 8th, 2024. Oh, I'm sorry, executive session update. During executive session, we discussed union negotiations, personnel matters, and property negotiations, as well as water acquisition.
Mayor, I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, the motion is in order for the approval of minutes from April 8, 2024. It's been moved by Councilmember Sundberg, seconded by
Hancock.
Councilmember Hancock to approve the minutes from April 8, 2024. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, I call for the question on the approval of the minutes from April 8, 2024.
Mayor Kaufman,
Mayor votes yes.
Councilmember Drinsky.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes to adopt the April 8th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Proclamation for Arab American Heritage Month. Is there anybody here to accept the proclamation? Whereas Arab Americans make valuable contributions to the fabric of our American society, and whereas Arab Americans generously share their rich culture and traditions with their neighbors and friends, serve the country and the public, and add strength to our nation's beautiful diversity, and whereas despite their significant contributions to our communities and culture, Arab Americans have been neglected or defaced by misconceptions and anti-Arab hate through speech and crime by those committed to undermining the United States collective, and whereas civil rights abuses, bias-motivated stereotyping, general biases, and crimes against Arab Americans and all minority communities must be combated through awareness, education, and kindness, and whereas this month we recognize our Arab American communities and their contributions to making Aurora, Colorado, a great and diverse city, and America a great and diverse nation. Now, therefore, I, Mike Kaufman, Mayor of the City of Aurora, Colorado, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Arab American Heritage Month, a witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Aurora, Colorado to be affixed this 22nd day of April 2024. Please introduce yourself and a few words.
Haneen Omar, owner of Second Home Community in Aurora. You remember me. It's actually an honor to receive this on behalf of my community, and it's been an honor to serve the community in every possible way. And if you'd like to get a taste of what the Arab American community does offer, please join us at Taste of the Middle East here on the grounds of the Great Lawn in the city of Aurora. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Lisa Batten, Victim Services Unit. Carolyn Cray, Victim Advocate, Aurora Police Department. Oh. And this will be read by Council Person Angela Lawson.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we got everybody around. Go back around. Fantastic. Okay. Whereas sexual assault is a public health crisis, and whereas according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, over half of the women and nearly 1/3 of men have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime, and survivors often experience lifelong effects on their physical, emotional, and mental health. And whereas sexual assault affects all facets of society and disregards age, ability, race, sex, gender, identity, sexual orientation, national origin, socioeconomic background, religion, veteran status, among others, that occur anywhere at any time. And where there's compelling evidence that we can be successful in reducing sexual violence through prevention education, increased awareness, and holding perpetrators who commit acts of violence responsible for their actions. And whereas Sexual Assault Awareness Month draws attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and that survivors of this crime need our attention and support. Now, therefore, I, Mike Kaufman, Mayor of the City of Aurora, Colorado, do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Aurora, Colorado to be affixed this 22nd day of April 2024. And would you go around and introduce yourself? Maybe you want to say some words as well?
Sure. I'm Rebecca. I'm one of the victim advocates here at the police department. My name is Adacia, and I'm also a victim advocate with the Aurora Police Department.
My name is Agnes, and I am also a victim advocate.
My name is Karen, and I'm also one of the new victim advocates with the Aurora Police Department.
I'm Areli, and I'm one of the victim liaisons with the Victim Services.
Hi, Detective Zelina, Sex Crimes Unit.
Lisa Batten, Victim Services Supervisor.
Melanie Groves, Victim Advocate.
Carolyn Craig, Victim Advocate.
Well, we want to thank you for all the work that you do. I mean, this is a very important issue, and I know that I had a friend who experienced this, and unfortunately she committed suicide because she never ever really discussed the issue, but it was impactful. So thank you so much. Sorry.
If I can get it to...
She's good. Councilmember Coombs is an all-purpose.
Me next.
With a diverse set of skills.
All right.
Great thing.
Very good, thank you.
Well, I'm going to ask the Mayor Pro Tem to read this, since he really led the effort to get us caught up in terms of road maintenance. Mayor Pro Tem Dustin Zavonic.
Thank you, sir. Whereas the Aurora Mayor and City Council championed the Build Up Aurora Residential Street Enhancement Program as a solution to address significant street maintenance needs in the neighborhood. And whereas the Aurora Mayor and City Council identified and used innovative funding solutions that enabled the project to occur without raising taxes. And whereas the Build Up Aurora delivered on promises to care for what we have and to address the top priority of residents by completing street maintenance work in 35 neighborhoods to bring Aurora's overall street network back into good condition. And whereas a partnership between the City of Aurora and contractors Martin Marietta delivered on a commitment to deliver quality and excellence in oversight and operations by both agencies. And whereas Aurora's Public Works Street Team has done an extraordinary job at delivering quality services to residents at a cost-effective, resource-limited manner, and Build Up Aurora was widely commended by residents and completed earlier than planned. And whereas the $36 million project consisted of milling and repaving 272 lane miles of road throughout Aurora, including 1.8 million square yards of milling and 260,000 tons of paving, and whereas Build Up Aurora has received well-deserved recognition as the Colorado Asphalt Pavement Association's Best in Colorado Asphalt Pavement Award. Now, therefore, I, Mike Kaufman, Mayor of the City of Aurora, Colorado, do hereby recognize Build Up Aurora for their outstanding work and commitment to the community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Aurora, Colorado, to be affixed on this 22nd day of April 2024. Members from the Public Works team? Great.
Good evening, Mayor Kaufman, Council. My name is Mike Skinner, and I'm the Director of Engineering for the Colorado Asphalt Pavement Association. I'm also a resident of Aurora. I've lived here for 30 years. I live in Dam East at Peoria and Yale. Mayor Kaufman, I appreciate your active involvement on social media and what you share with the residents of Aurora. Thank you. One of the things we do as a trade association, we are the voice of the asphalt paving industry for the state of Colorado. We have 270 members, 80 of which are cities and counties, local agencies, including the city of Aurora. One of the things we do every year is recognize quality construction throughout the state, from corner to corner, from Steamboat Springs to La Junta, from Sterling to Durango. And last year in the 2023 paving program, the city of Aurora was recognized for our project delivery category. That's a unique category, and to put it in perspective how special this project was that city of Aurora accomplished last year, they placed 260,000 tons of asphalt. We measure our industry by tonnage. Every ton of asphalt that goes out on the road to either new construction or to repair. City of Aurora placed 260,000 tons. There are only 5 agencies across the state that barely break 100,000 tons. Douglas County, Adams County, Weld County, El Paso County, and the city of Colorado Springs barely break 100. Aurora did 260,000 tons last year. That's a monumental task. Kudos to council for finding the funding solutions for your residents. Kudos to your streets team for delivering such a project. Kudos to Martin Marietta, your contractor, and the delivery of their program. Let's give the City of Aurora Public Works an outstanding round of applause for what they delivered.
I'll go first. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much.
Public invited to be heard.
Yes, first we have Tanya Tach.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. The main thing I want to talk about today is the road bikes and the dirt bikes and ATVs. I don't know what to say, and I just want you all to think of your creative thoughts or something, because they don't have license plates on the back of their vehicles, and they think they could just ride around the city that they own the road. This past Sunday, traveling to Denver on Alameda or 6th Avenue, heading towards Aurora, there was over 30 of them, just doing this and whatever, feeling they could do whatever they want, whenever they want. And I'm just trying to foresee, hopefully prevent an accident or something happen or something unusual. This is just ridiculous. We need to take control of our streets. We need to tell them that you can't do this in Aurora. I know they do it everywhere, but in Aurora, they can't do it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to figure out some way. I know in my own street, they were doing it too. At the end of the corner, they were going really fast. My dad's like, I could hear them. They went across really fast down the street and then back again. We have a school right behind us. So I don't know, I just wish, I can't think of anything, but if you guys could think of something, and we need to stop this before it gets worse. Thank you.
Robbie DeYoung.
Mayor, council, yeah, I'm still wearing the same shirt. I'm not going to give this up. But that's not why I'm here. One of the first things I want to say deals with Sexual Assault Month. I kept silent for decades, literally decades. And I waited until a certain family member had passed away before I said anything because I didn't want to upset her. I lost half of my family doing that. Do I regret doing that? Absolutely not. I don't regret it in the least. I do regret that I didn't say something a lot sooner than I did. So thank you. I respect and appreciate the victims' advocates, and I respect anybody that has been through this, because it's not easy, whether you're a female or a male. Now, for the real reason why I'm here. If someone has their temporary tags or their license plate stolen, the majority of everyone will just go to motor vehicles and say, you know, it was stolen, it was lost, I don't know what happened to it, I don't have it anymore, my front one's gone, my back one's gone, whatever. They don't always report that to the police, and therein lies the problem. Unless there is a connect between the police department and motor vehicles, letting each side know a plate has been stolen, because more than likely, if it's been stolen, it's being used on another vehicle to commit crimes. So I'd like to see us work together with DMV, try and get something done where we can get these vehicles, the license plate and temp tags registered. So, thank you.
Okay, we have one person on the call-in line.
Susan, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Susan Taback. Yes. Hello, this is Susan Taback, and I'm going to start this off. I didn't think I was going to ever do this, but I'm going to do it. My son Charlie was molested in the school. The police came, and we were through investigation, and, you know, they investigated us. They investigated everybody. But the person who did it left for Mexico. He was an aide in the school. It's documented, and we are still going through it. Charlie still has to go to Aurora Mental Health with PTSD because of the severity. Now, the other thing I'm going to say, I would like a lane across, a turn lane, I've said this before, a turn lane across from the rec center and the church, because everybody does it. And I don't know who to go to get this done. But we seem to be putting all these bicycle lanes up. And I'm not understanding that. And the reason I'm not understanding it is because I don't remember voting for these bicycle lanes. I don't know who asked for any grants or anything to have all these bicycle lanes. I would really like to know where it came from. I don't ride bicycles, but I know I've almost hit a couple of them going through red lights and everything else. I'm very cautious. So those are the two things I wanted to say. And yes, I'm so glad that lady got up and did that, because the principal of the school was fired. The special needs director was fired. Charlie was the only one that was able to bring a bill out to everybody because he was more verbal. The other ones were nonverbal. And you know what? That teacher would go out the back door and not watch what this is going on. And they weren't allowed to have a counselor. So, you know, thank God Charlie did that, because now it's documented that they need to start watching for that in the schools. And I'm just, thank God. But I'm living with it to this day, and that was since he was 18 years old. Thank you. He's 40 now, so thank you. Look how many years I'm still dealing with it.
Okay, that was the last individual.
No one else.
No one else.
Motion is in order for the adoption of the agenda.
Mayor, motion to adopt the agenda.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem Zvonek, seconded by
Coombs.
seconded by Councilmember Coombs to adopt the agenda. Discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Jurenski.
I would like to pull item 10C1.
Okay, very well. Further amendments? Seeing none, question before us is the adoption of the agenda as amended. Discussion? Seeing no further discussion, call for the question on the adoption of the agenda as amended.
Mayor Kaufman?
Mayor votes yes.
The motion passes to adopt the agenda.
The next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar on motions. Yes. Right, but there's still 10C2.
That was the adoption of the agenda, that wasn't the adoption of the consent calendar.
Right.
Remove it.
Remove it completely.
If there was some confusion as to the motion, I guess.
So the motion was made to adopt the agenda, removing 10C1, and that prevailed. That means 10C1 is not included in the agenda.
Correct.
Yep.
And Councilmember Coombs, you want to amend your vote to no?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should just vote on all the items that were on the agenda.
Okay, we have you down as no.
Question now before us is the adoption of the consent calendar on motions. Item 10C2. Motion is in order.
Mayor, motion to approve consent calendar item 10C2.
Been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Dustin Zvonek, seconded by
Sundberg.
Seconded by Councilmember Steve Sundberg to approve the consent calendar on motions, item number 10C2. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll call for the question on the adoption of 10C2.
Mayor Kaufman?
Mayor votes yes.
The motion passes to adopt the consent calendar for motions.
Next question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar resolutions and ordinances, item 11A1 to 11B5.
Mayor, we do have a few individuals who would like to speak on item 11A1.
Let me do that first. Okay. The question before us is the adoption of the consent calendar resolutions and ordinances 11A2 to 11B5.
We don't have to pull the item for the public to speak, so they can speak right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll proceed then.
Okay, Michael Gifford.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to pull it, but
Okay.
Good evening. Not on? Okay. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Michael Gifford. I'm Advocacy Director for Associated General Contractors of Colorado. We're a statewide association of commercial general contractors, specialty contractors, and suppliers, 650 members total. and here tonight in support of Resolution R 2024-41. And the first thing I want to impart is the great need in our industry, which is connected to great news that we have record federal, state, and local infrastructure funding. You heard about a great project earlier this evening. We know that we have a housing challenge of all types of housing, and we have energy policy at the state level that's going to change all large buildings from natural gas to electricity. All of that converges. Today we have 180,000 construction employees in the state. In 2024 and by 2027, the state labor department says we're going to need to have 220,000 construction employees in the face of record baby boomer retirements from our industry and many other industries. In 2015, we formed a partnership with the Housing and Building Association for the state, and in Colorado Springs, we formed the Careers in Construction Colorado High School Construction Trades Program. Think of it as reinserting construction shop into the high school. Fast forward to today, we're in 63 high schools and 3,300 students. But it's very expensive. We have more schools that want to add on, but we need to grow sustainable funding as well. And the good news is today we're in Vista Peak Preparatory and Gateway High School, and this resolution would establish a new building permit fee for both residential and commercial projects and help fund future growth of programs in the city of Aurora, both APS as well as potentially some Cherry Creek district schools. And Aurora, one of the largest cities in the state, is going to continue to grow. So we're trying to get ahead of the power curve there. So glad to answer any questions. But these are great careers in this industry, and these students start with a great opportunity in the high school. We provide the curriculum, the lesson plans, in-school counselors, paid internships, and then a connection to employers for jobs. So glad to answer any questions and urge you to support this resolution.
Thank you.
Brian Cook.
Mayor Kaufman, fellow council members, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Brian Cook, and I'm the Executive Director of the Construction Education Foundation, or also known as CEF. CEF, is the true nonprofit of AGC, so the true 501c3. And so we currently have members. You got a chance to hear from Michael Gifford from AGC. We also have members of the Home Building Association of Metro Denver that are on our board of CEF. And currently, we oversee all the careers in construction programs here in the Metro Denver area. And also, we'll be seeing the expansion as we add new schools that Michael spoke of. So some of the goals of this program is it really is to expand the youth-focused construction careers and talent development here in Aurora Public Schools, Cherry Creek School District, and also in Pickens Technical College. And so some of the things it will provide industry-based curriculum and career exposure to Aurora youth. It will expand industry advancement and retention support. And the third one is develop work-based learning apprenticeship pathways. And you heard the build-up program of 260,000 tons of asphalt. These programs will allow for folks to go into apprenticeship in transportation engineering. So many different pathways. But one example that is going on here right now that kind of connects to the Careers in Construction program is a program called the Construction Tech. And this is where the construction careers and careers in construction students will be able to matriculate into a program here in Aurora that's both currently housed at Vista Peak and at Gateway High School, and it's a partnership with CEF, Build Strong Academy, and the Community College of Aurora, where these students will actually get their fifth year, or they actually take 4 years of high school. The fifth year will be paid from the Colorado Department of Education, and they'll actually get an associate degree from the Community College of Aurora in construction. So just a great opportunity for this program to really build on to their pathway. As I said, the Careers in Construction program is currently at Aurora High School, at 2 Aurora high schools, Vista Peak and Gateway. And as we get more funding coming in, we plan to continue to expand that. So it's about $15,000 that we support each of those schools, and the funds will help for the nationally recognized Home Builder Institute curriculum, OSHA 10-hour certificates for all the students, safety gear that they wear in the class, construction consumables, you can see 2x4s, nails, plywood, and et cetera, and the HBI pre-apprenticeship certificates. So as we move forward, it's really, integral that the students receive this. They're not building birdhouses in these classes. They're getting pre-apprenticeship classes that they can use to go on as they graduate. And so this is, not only do they get the pre-apprenticeship certificate, they have the opportunity to work with, building their life skills, career development, and on-the-job training. So they would be working with the members, construction firms here in Aurora as they kind of get that on-the-job learning. And so the HBI curriculum is one of only 3 pre-apprenticeship programs in the country that's approved by the Department of Labor. So with that, I just want to thank you for hearing more about the Careers in Construction program and that I support it.
Thank you.
Thomas Stone.
Mayor and members of the council, thank you for having me today. My name's Tom Stone. I'm with Adolphson and Peterson Construction. We are a 44-year Aurora-based contracting company centered in and have always been centered in Aurora. Our job is to hire these kids. Our job is to make sure that we have places for them to go. Michael talked about the shortage of workers in our industry, and we are here to hire them and want to hire them. But we need them to have the opportunity to grow their skills before we get them so we can train them on jobs as well. So we're here to support and want you to support this ordinance so that we can create a pipeline for our workers and other workers in our industry so we can continue to build in Aurora. Thank you.
Dan Gasso.
Good evening, Mayor Kaufman and members of the Aurora City Council. My name is Dan Galasso, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Tri-Point Homes and the Home Builders Association of Metro Denver, where I serve as chairman of the Government Affairs Committee, as well as a member of the board of Metro Housing Coalition. The HBA of Metro Denver represents over 550 home builders, developers, remodelers, architects, mortgage lenders, title companies, subcontractors, suppliers, and service providers in the 34 municipality and 8 metro area counties we serve. While there are many municipalities within our jurisdiction that are important to our industry and are doing their part to help solve Colorado's housing attainability crisis, no city has done more to help overcome our current housing shortage than the city of Aurora. Just last year, Aurora issued over 3,000 housing permits. 300,000 would be fantastic, right? 3,000 housing permits citywide, which is almost double the amount of the second closest municipality, Denver, which issued 1,679 permits last year. Well, the city is undoubtedly doing its part to help stabilize the housing market, lower the cost of living for Aurora residents, spur economic development across the Front Range, and create good-paying jobs for thousands of Coloradoans. I'm here this evening to discuss another challenge our industry faces on a daily basis, a stable workforce. In order for our industry to build the 135,000 homes necessary to meet current demand, we will need to employ 40,000 new construction workers by 2027. While this predicament creates a monumental challenge for home builders like myself, it also offers amazing career opportunities for tens of thousands of young people looking for honorable work with excellent income potential. That is why I'm so excited to be here before you this evening. The City of Aurora's Careers in Construction program will allow companies to make a voluntary contribution of $25 per new residential permit and $200 per new commercial permit to fund the CICC's Home Builders Institute curriculum to enhance career and technical education for Aurora High School students. The program will automatically assess this fee unless a builder opts out of the program, ensuring maximum support and participation of a program that is so vital to our industry's long-term success. The program will allow students in Aurora Public Schools, Cherry Creek School Districts, and Pickens Technical College to participate in hands-on classes that provide job-ready skills when they graduate. The CICC program includes construction, plumbing, electrical, and other building trades, and students will have the ability to earn certificates that will potentially fast-track them into future jobs like mine. Looking back at the nearly 2 decades that I've spent working in this industry and what it has done for me both personally and professionally, I am honored to pay it forward and speak in support of a program that will prepare the next generation of residential construction workers to solve Colorado's housing needs while supporting their future families. Thank you for the opportunity this evening to speak about such a wonderful program and opportunity for our industry, Aurora students, and your city.
Thank you.
Robbie DeYoung.
Bet you wonder why I'm up here. For Resolution 2024-41. My grandmom, back in World War II, was the first woman to ever manage a Safeway. My mom, when I was a little girl, was the first woman to sell interstate batteries. We owned a tire store, so kind of went together. I was the first woman in the state of New Mexico to work in a power plant as an electrician, technician. Can't think of what I want to say. Anyway, I was trying to learn how to become an electrician in a power plant of all places. I was also the first woman in the state of New Mexico to deliver building materials. I actually had a forklift driven over the arch of my foot by a young man that didn't particularly like a woman doing that type of job. What was my main challenges in that? Well, it was back in the 70s, so women didn't really necessarily do this kind of thing. But my biggest challenge was when I was working in the power plant and there were no women's restrooms. So we had to take turns going in, and I'd have a sentry at the door while I was in the restroom. That was my biggest challenge. Some of the funnest work I've ever done. I had to learn to do a lot of things differently than what the men were doing it because I didn't necessarily have the strength that they did. But I always insisted that I still be treated like a lady, even though I was doing a man's job. And I really am 100% behind this. And I think more emphasis needs to be put on not just hiring young people, but by hiring women.
Okay, that was the last person.
Mayor?
Councilmember Bergen.
Yes, I want to thank the speakers. You heard a lot about the different statistics, and certainly Aurora, a growing city of 400,000 population, we definitely have a housing demand, and we are trying to meet that through a lot of creative ways, with different affordable housing initiatives. But this actually came to the Planning and Economic Development Council, believe it or not, it came in 2020. A little thing called the pandemic got in the way, and so it got put on the back burner. But then I want to thank the Associated General Contractors and then also the Metro Denver Home Builders Association for not forgetting about us, and they came back last year to the PED meeting, the Planning and Economic Development Council committee, and we heard about their program, and we were unanimous support from that committee to move this forward. It's so important that we have a workforce that can meet the demanding needs of our housing industry and our construction industry. So we had to work a little bit behind the scenes with staff, and I want to say thank you to Laura Perry and staff because we overcame some challenges having to work with IT to make this possible. But as mentioned, we now will be able to have this program in Aurora to contribute to the funds needed to have this curriculum in all of our schools. So, they mentioned Gateway and also the Vista Peak Preparatory School. Those will be in place this school year, but we're hoping to be able to expand the program into other schools within the city of Aurora as well. So I just want to thank everyone, and I urge my my colleagues to support this. It's really needed, and we're growing so much, I think we're going to be able to really help you with the fund, because I think we've got a lot of permits that are being issued every year. So thank you very much.
First, motion is in order.
Mayor.
Consent count, yes.
Oh.
We haven't, we haven't moved it yet. Motion is order for consent calendar resolutions and ordinances, item 11A1 to 11B5.
Mayor, move to approve items 11A1 through 11A7.
I think you want to pull 11A1.
No, it was pulled because of the,
It wasn't pulled, but we wound up doing the same.
we ended up doing, we ended up, because it was, we had public invited, it basically did the same
Don't
thing.
we have to read the resolution?
It wasn't pulled off the consent calendar. We can have public invited to be heard before the item is pulled.
Oh.
So right now, we're approving 11A1 through 11B7.
Okay, but since we're just to talk on 11A1.
Want me to pull it?
Yeah, I'm going to pull 11A1. So the motion before us is the adoption of 11A2 to 11A7. It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by?
Bergen.
Seconded by Councilmember Bergen. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of the consent count for resolutions and ordinances 11A2 to 11B5.
The motion passes to adopt the consent calendar for resolutions and ordinances with item 11A1 removed.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item 11A1?
Item 11A1 is Resolution 2024-41, creating a workforce donation opportunity for residential and commercial builders to voluntarily contribute to the Careers in Construction Program.
Motion is in order for the adoption of 11A1.
Mayor.
Councilmember Bergen.
Okay, motion to approve 11A1.
Been moved by Councilmember Bergen, seconded by?
Zavada.
Seconded by Councilmember Hancock. Discussion? Well, let me just say I want to commend Councilmember Bergen for bringing this forward and for all the industry representatives that helped, as well as Aurora Public Schools. Councilmember Bergen held a press conference at Gateway High School today, and the superintendent, Michael Giles, spoke at the press conference about how important this was for students in Aurora Public Schools, and I think, and it was so, and I just want to thank industry representatives, leaders for being there today as well. I think that this will provide a lot of opportunity for young people to be able to expeditiously utilize their high school, part of their high school time, as well as they mentioned the extra year where they'll receive an associate's degree and really have a path into the middle class, where so many young people, unfortunately, don't have that opportunity today. And so what Councilmember Bergen has accomplished by bringing this forward today, if passed, is that not only is it providing opportunities for young people, but really when we think about the construction industry, home building industry, and the fact that there's a real shortage of skilled tradesmen, craftsmen available to build homes, which drives the price of homes higher than it ought to be, and the length of time to build homes longer than it ought to be. And so, again, I want to thank Councilmember Bergen for bringing this forward. Further discussion? Seeing none.
Mayor.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Bergen.
I just want to say thank you to you, Mayor, also for your support.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of 11A1.
Item 11A1 has passed. The motion passed.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item 12A?
Item 12A is a public hearing and consideration of Resolution 2024-48, approving the second amended and restated service plan for Prairie Point Metro District Number 1, and approving an amended and restated IGA between the City of Aurora, Colorado, and the district.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Cesarina Dancy, Interim Manager of the Office of Development Assistance. The Prairie Point Metropolitan District Number 1, formerly known as Kings Point, was approved originally in 2001. The district serves the Prairie Point development located between Parker and Gartrell Roads, bisected by E470. This development is anticipated to be residential. However, there are currently no residents within the development. The proposed amended and restated service plan before you is intended to authorize the imposition of assessments for repayment of bonds issued by one or more special improvement districts to be established by the Metropolitan District. The purpose of the Special Improvement District, or SID, is to decrease the financing gap between the cost of public improvements and the financing capacity of the bonds. The assessment lien imposed by the SID must be paid in full prior to the transfer of a lot to an end user or homeowner. The proposed service plan amendment also includes updates to reflect the city's current model service plan. We do have outside counsel here and representatives of the district if there's any questions, but no presentation prepared.
So there is no presentation then by the applicant?
Correct.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Seeing none, are there any questions of staff? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor?
Councilmember Bergen.
Yes, motion to approve 12A.
It's been moved by Councilmember Bergen, seconded by Councilmember Sundberg to approve item number 12A. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 12A.
The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-48.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item number 12B?
Item 12B is public hearing and consideration of Resolution 2024-49, approving the second amended and restated service plan for Prairie Point Metro District Number 2, and approving an amended and restated IGA between the City of Aurora, Colorado, and the district.
Public hearing is now open. Pre-presentation by staff.
The service plan for the Prairie Point Metropolitan District Number 2 was also approved in 2001. The district serves the Prairie Point development located between Parker and Gartrell Roads, bisected by E470, and is anticipated to be residential with no current residents within the development. The proposed amended and restated service plan is intended to authorize the imposition of assessments for repayment of bonds issued by one or more special improvements districts to be established by the Metropolitan District. The purpose of the SID is to decrease the financing gap between the cost of public improvements and the financing capacity of the bonds. The assessment lien imposed by the SID must be paid in full prior to the transfer of a lot to an end user or homeowner. And the proposed service plan amendment also includes updates to the city's current model service plan.
Does the applicant wish to speak on this?
I'm sorry?
Is there a presentation by the applicant?
No presentation, but they are here for questions.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this?
No.
Very well. Are there questions by members to staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed, and motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 12B.
It's
moved
my
by
area.
Councilmember Sundberg,
I'm sorry.
seconded by
Bergen.
Councilmember Bergen to approve item number 12C. 12B. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 12B.
The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-49.
Will clerk now please read the title to item number 12C?
Item 12C is public hearing and consideration of Resolution 2024-50, approving the amended and restated service plan for Prairie Point Metro District Number 3, and approving an amended and restated IGA between the City of Aurora, Colorado, and the district.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
The service plan for the Prairie Point Metropolitan District Number 3 was approved in 2005. The district is also serving the Prairie Point development and is anticipated to be residential with no current residents within the development. The proposed amended and restated service plan is intended to authorize the imposition of assessments for repayment of bonds issued by one or more special improvement districts to be established by the Metropolitan District. The purpose of the SID is to decrease the financing gap between the cost of public improvements and the financing capacity of the bonds. The assessment lien imposed by the SID must be paid in full prior to the transfer of a lot to an end user. And the proposed amendment also includes updates to the city's current model service plan. We also have counsel here for this item, but no presentation.
Is there a presentation by the applicant?
No.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Questions of staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Motion is in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember Bergen.
motion to approve 12C.
It's moved by Councilmember Bergen, seconded by? Seconded by Councilmember Summer to approve item number 12C. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, question before us is the adoption of item number 12C. Call for the question.
Councilmember Hancock? Yes. Councilmember Lawson?
Yes.
The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-50.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item number 12D?
Item 12D is a public hearing and consideration of Resolution 2024-51, consenting to the dissolution Serenity Ridge Metro District Number 1.
Public hearing is now open. Presentation by staff.
The Serenity Ridge Metropolitan Districts Numbers 1 and 2 were organized in 2003 to provide public improvements and services for the property located within the district. These districts are located southeast of East Arapahoe Road and East Smoky Hill Road. Serenity Ridge Metropolitan District Number 1 is requesting the consent of the city for dissolution. The district does not provide any services to its residents or taxpayers and does not have any debt. And in addition, the district has provided documentation that includes the bargain and sale deed transferring all real property from District Number 1 to District Number 2, a bill of sale transferring all improvements and other tangible assets of District 1 to District 2, and the omnibus assignment and assumption agreement, which transfers any all obligations created thereunder and any other obligations of District 1 to District 2, and District 2 has agreed to accept and assume the same. We do have representatives of the district here for questions only.
Okay, is there a presentation by the applicant?
No presentation.
Is there anybody who wishes to speak on this issue?
No.
Questions of staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed, and a motion is in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember Bergen.
motion to approve 12D.
Moved by Councilmember Bergen, seconded by?
Mayor, second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lawson to approve item number 12D. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, question before us is the adoption of item number 12D. Call for the question.
Councilmember Zavon, thank you. Councilmember Murillo? Thank you. The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-51.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item number 13A?
Item 13A is introduction of ordinance 2024-18, appropriating sums of money in addition to those appropriated in ordinance numbers 2022-59, 2023-12, and 2023-62 for the 2023 fiscal year, and ordinance number 2023-52 for the 2024 fiscal year.
Brief presentation by staff.
Hello, Mayor, Council. I am not Jackie Amon, Greg Hayes, Budget Officer. She was unavailable this evening, so I'm going to take this forward. Twice a year, in addition to the creation of the budget, there are 2 different times during the year when we can come through and adjust the budget as needed for things that we didn't know about before. These are called supplementals. This is the spring supplemental. The spring supplemental budget process covers 2 years with final adjustments to 2023 and initial adjustments to 2024. I'm going to give you a high-level overview of each year, and then we've got department representatives both in the green and then online who can address any specific questions you may have. For 2023, all significant items in the general fund were either projected and included in the 2024 budget plan or technical with no impact to the fund balance. In some cases, you'd notice that the supplemental amount turned out to be more than was projected, but in each of these instead, they were more than offset by vacancy savings or other savings in other departments when evaluating the general fund in total. For all funds, the most items are technical. Others were projected or reviewed by council or council committee. A couple of things I want to point out here. In the Development Review Fund, there was an overage was projected, although the actual amount turned out to be higher than expected. But in that case, revenue in the fund outpaced these additional expectations and actually resulted in an increase in fund balance. In the risk fund, an overage was projected for the final expenditures for risk claims and the assumptions for actuarial adjustments that were more than projected. This caused a transfer from the general fund to need to be made over into the risk fund in order to keep a reasonable fund balance. Moving into 2024, there's a couple items to note in here. Ongoing request to add 11 FTE to various departments. These FTE in total will add about $800,000 in ongoing appropriations in the general fund. Point out that 3 of the FTE are in housing and community services and include offsets resulting in $0 impacts to the general fund. 2 of the FTE are actually in fleet technicians who will be added to the fleet fund, but we charge back to other funds, including the general fund. 2 other ongoing supplementals to note. One is in the general fund, $939,000 in information technology to cover some additional costs that happened late in 2023. IT implemented the new IT Live help desk to help personalize services that were not included in the 2024 budget. Additionally, budgeted annual increases for some contracts were not enough to cover the actual increases. Other ongoing request is in the water fund for $1 million. This is to continue and expand the rebate and incentive programs to help achieve water fund reductions. Also, in addition to that, there were several one-time technical items in various funds to appropriate grant funding, create transfer budgets by using existing appropriations, or to reappropriate funds that didn't get around to getting spent in 2023. So they were reappropriated into 2024. That ends my presentation. If there are any questions.
Questions of staff? Seeing none, motion is in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember Coombs.
move to approve 13A.
Been moved by Councilmember Coombs, seconded by?
Zavonic.
Seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Zavonic to approve item number 13A. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, the question before us is the adoption of item number 13A. Call for the question.
Councilmember Murillo.
Yes.
The motion passes to adopt ordinance 2024-18.
Will clerk now please read the title to item number 15A?
Item 15A is a public hearing and consideration of Resolution 2024-40, making certain findings of fact regarding the proposed annexation of a parcel of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 2 and the northeast quarter of Section 11, Township 4 South, Range 66 West of the 6th Principal Meridian, County of Arapahoe.
Public hearing is now open. Brief presentation by staff.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Jacob Cox, Development Services Director. Petition for annexation was filed with the Clerk's Office for annexation of an approximately 41-acre parcel owned by the Allen Trust. This parcel is located at the northeast corner of 6th Avenue and Hogan Parkway. Council made a finding of substantial compliance regarding this annexation on February 12th, 2024. The annexation process follows state law and are considered over 3 City Council meetings. As a reminder, for this one, we did continue the public hearing for the resolution at the April 8th Council meeting in order to also conduct the public hearing hearing on the initial zoning this evening, which will occur. So tonight's agenda, in which City Council will conduct that initial public hearing on the resolution, in which we're considering approval of a resolution making the finding that the land is eligible for annexation. Then we'll consider introduction of the annexation ordinance, and following that is a separate public hearing for the initial zoning ordinance. So item 15A, the public hearing to consider the resolution that the land is eligible, making a finding that it does meet those factual statements. No separate presentation from the applicants, but we're happy to answer any questions. That's item 15A.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Very well. Questions of staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed, and a motion is in order.
Mayor, move to approve item 1115A.
It's moved by Mayor Pro Tem Zvonek, seconded by
Sundberg.
Seconded by Councilmember Sundberg to approve item number 15A. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, call for the question on the adoption of item number 15A.
Councilmember Murillo?
Yes.
The motion passes to adopt Resolution 2024-40.
Clerk, please read the title to item number 15B.
Item 15B is an ordinance 2024-17, annexing a parcel of land located in the southeast corner of Section 2 and the northeast quarter of Section 11, Township 4 South, Range 66 West of the 6th Principal Meridian, County of Arapahoe.
Brief presentation by staff.
In conjunction with the presentation given for item 15A, this item is the initial reading of the annexation ordinance, annexing that parcel of land, again, approximately 41-acre parcel, northeast corner of 6th Avenue and Hogan Parkway. No separate presentation by the applicants.
Very well. Does anybody wish to be heard on this issue?
No.
Questions of staff or the applicant?
Mayor,
Councilmember Sundberg.
could you remind us what the ultimate end application is of the development?
Yes, I'll clarify a little further on item 15C when we talk about the zoning, but the idea is a light industrial project. No project has been submitted yet. They wanted to get through the annexation process first, and so that will be an I-1 light industrial zoning commercial project.
Very well. Further questions of staff or the applicant? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor,
Oh, go ahead. I
motion
move to approve 15B.
and I'll second it.
It's been moved by Councilmember Sundberg, seconded by
Zvonek.
Mayor Pro Tem Zvonek to approve item number 15B. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, questions before us is the adoption of item number 15B. Call for the question.
The motion passes to adopt ordinance 2024-17.
Will the clerk now please read the title to item number 15C?
Item 15C is a public hearing and consideration of ordinance 2024-19, zoning a parcel of land measuring 40 acres more or less located north of the intersection of Stephen D. Hogan Parkway and East 6th Avenue to Business Tech District and amending the zoning map accordingly.
Brief presentation by staff.
So item 15C, this is the zoning map amendment to initially zone approximately 40 acres of land to the I-1 Business Tech District. In terms of comp plan compliance, the light industrial and commercial uses permitted in the I-1 zone district are anticipated to be compatible with the surrounding zoning. The proposed zoning also is compatible with the comprehensive plan and commercial hub place type. The initial zoning will be a benefit to the surrounding neighborhoods and will progress towards meeting the general employment goals outlined in the comp plan. Other zoning considerations that we considered, potential size, scale, height, density of the proposed initial zoning are compliant with that I-1 and compatible with the current impacts associated with the surrounding area. Most of the parcel is in the airport influence subarea 60 LDN. Those are the noise contours in the zoning code due to its proximity to Buckley Air Force Base and the related sound measurements. This subarea prohibits the development of new residential uses. This proposed initial zoning and related annexation result in consistent zoning and jurisdiction in developing this area of Aurora. Consistent zoning and jurisdiction will help to clarify the expectations for development responsibilities, maintenance of public infrastructure, and provision of services. The zoning map amendment in terms of process has been recommended for approval to City Council by the Planning and Zoning Commission in a 6-0 decision.
Very well. Is there a presentation by the applicant?
No separate presentation by the applicant.
Does anybody wish to be heard on this?
No.
Very well. Are there any questions, staff or the applicant? Seeing none, public hearing is closed and a motion is in order.
Mayor, I move to approve 15C.
It's been moved by Councilmember Sundberg, seconded by
Coombs.
seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Zavonic to approve item number 15C. Further discussion? Seeing none, call for the question on the adoption of item number 15C.
Councilmember Murillo? Councilmember Murillo? The motion passes to adopt item 15C, ordinance 2024-19.
Reports. I just want to thank council members Angela Lawson and Allison Coombs, as well as our Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, Liz Rogers, for doing really an extraordinary job in Washington last week. It was a pretty tough schedule, but it's pretty, for as much time as I've been in Washington, more than I'd like. It was amazing to start out your first meeting at the West Wing of the White House with the President's Director of Intergovernmental Relations, and where we laid out a case for really quite a few issues for the city of Aurora. Then we had a meeting at the Department of Transportation with political appointees there. Talk about our transportation needs for the city. Went to Department of Housing and Urban Development as well, presented a case for a number of issues, and we would divide them up as to who would do what specific issues in different meetings. 2 different meetings for the Department of Justice on everything from grants to law enforcement to helping with youth violence prevention. Then we were able to meet with our congressional delegation in Congressman Crow's office, Senator Hickenlooper's office, and Senator Bennett's office. And so I think I felt that the meetings went well, and it was really time well spent. And again, I want to thank my colleagues for being there. Councilmember Coombs.
Thank you, Mayor. And yes, certainly want to echo my thanks to you, Councilmember Lawson, and Ms. Rogers. Particularly, I do want to thank Liz for the excellent preparation that she really provided to us as council members in terms of just some of the background from the staff side on what folks would be interested in discussing with us and what the priority projects were. And also very many thanks to Councilmember Lawson for your experience that you brought to that trip from having led this with council several times. It was really helpful to just be able to all work as a team, understand the shared goals, and I think we got both a lot of really good information about opportunities that the city has related to infrastructure, public safety, and housing, but also we're able to really advance our causes as a city in relation to those issues to the folks that we met with. So really appreciate your leadership and help with that. I will be co-hosting Councilmember Murillo's Town Hall at the Fox Theater this Thursday at 6 p.m., where we will learn more about the Fox. And then also wanted to make sure people know that there is one more in-person opportunity to participate in the Connecting Aurora multimodal transportation study. There will be an in-person open house tomorrow at Talons Reach Library from 5 to 7 p.m. But if you're not able to make that meeting, there are still opportunities to make your voices heard about the multimodal transportation needs and what you care about in terms of multimodal transportation within the city. And you can do that by going to engageaurora.com/connectingaurora, where you can learn about the study and the project, as well as give your feedback about that. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Councilmember Drinsky?
Yes, thank you. I have a couple things. The Community College of Aurora graduation is going to be on May 4th at 9 a.m. right here on the Great Lawn. I am so honored to be a part of that graduation and to be earning a degree that day. I will be a first-generation college graduate, so I'm very happy, and I hope so many people from the community come to that, which leads me to the next thing very important to me. A lot of who I am is next to God and then my father, the late John Buckner, the principal of Overland High School. There is a street naming going on for him in Ward 4 on May 9th at 11 a.m. And it is on Jewel, the part of Jewel that connects Peoria to Mississippi, running right along Aurora South Hospital and Overland High School. This is a huge deal. If you're from Aurora, if you grew up in Aurora, especially if you went to Overland, the impact that this man had on the community is huge, and I hope to see a humongous turnout for that. And then the Waterwise event, May 18th, 9 a.m., right here in the Waterwise Garden. You will have an opportunity to get new sprinkler heads, get some water conservation tips. There will be vendors out here, trainings going on, and complete tours of our Waterwise Garden. So please join us for that. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Zawani.
Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly thank you to Candace Atkinson, our court administrator, and her team from detention, probation, and the Aurora Marshals for joining us this past week at our at-large town hall. I also had an opportunity to hear from Aurora Fire and Rescue and the police department, so thanks to everybody for attending. And then finally, I just want to say thank you to the kiddos at Meadowood Child Development Center for allowing me to come and read Mama Llama to their class last week. I enjoyed it.
Councilmember Murillo.
Isn't my audio working?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Just a quick announcement, as Councilmember Coates mentioned, we'll be co-hosting my town hall this Thursday at the Aurora Fox. We'll get a tour, get to hear from the very dynamic new director at the Fox, and hopefully hear from one of the directors of one of the plays there. So if you've been curious about what's going on there, want to support our Aurora Cultural Arts District, and just have a good time, please join. Thank you.
Councilmember Sundberg.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, you and I attended a small business ribbon cutting in Fitzsimmons, the medical campus of WOW Scrubs. You know, the scrubs those medical people wear can be kind of drab looking, but not this place. What a variety of different scrubs you could wear. And it was a very positive thing to see someone's small business dream come true, and hopefully they're well positioned in that area. I had a great town hall. The cool people showed up to Ward 2. We talked about the library director, retail, Highline Canal, fire and rescue outreach. Let's see. I know some residents are concerned out there about motorcycle and vehicle takeovers of parking lots, doing donuts and shooting guns and acting crazy and breaking the law. So we are addressing that. We hear your concerns, and there is a coordinated effort being assimilated to address those concerns. Councilwoman Hancock and myself, we attended the wellness court today. I don't know if has anybody attended a wellness court graduation. This is truly something that can be heartwarming. In our city, we are hoping to duplicate this concept and take it to a larger scale in something called the HEART program, right? It's a homeless outreach, problem-solving court that we have a vision for to assist those in our community experiencing homelessness to just really have the resources and the encouragement to go to another level in their improvement. But the problem of homelessness and addiction can just seem overwhelming in our city, right? But when we attended this today, it was one person graduating, sober for 750 days. He was living in the worst possible means with a friend of his that was there. They talked about going from a trailer court to the trash cans, quite literally, stealing cars, living a life of crime. He was arrested, and he went into this wellness court after serving a little bit of time. And what a success story to hear him with his family there, with his friends, with the team of support that surrounds him with the wellness court. The pride of, we were proud for him, weren't we? Tears. He is working. He's got an apprenticeship beyond his job now for in HVAC. He went from one apartment. He just graduated to another, better apartment. And his family was in tears. And it's just this wellness court is a microcosm of what we want to do in Aurora to take these courts to another level to help more people. And I was just so encouraged as we celebrated his recovery. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Medina?
No report, sir.
Councilmember Hancock?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to piggyback on what Councilmember Sundberg said, you know, courts ideally are supposed to help people to transition from adverse behavior to good behavior. We want to see them, you know, how long do you pay for a mistake that you paid for, right? And so people help them to transition from a life that they knew to a life that they could have. And this young man, I mean, we were all choked up in there. I never even met this guy before today. But to see the success of this young man and how he transformed his life, it was an action of his will. And I've often found, and I'm sure everyone can attest to this, when you take a step forward, there's always someone there that will reach out and help you. Sometimes it's people that you don't even know. And so it's really great to see that our court system actually is having a positive impact on people. I had a terrific town hall with Councilmember Jurinski last week, and it was so jam-packed, we're going to have to trim it down a little bit because we couldn't get to all of the great things that we've been doing. And what I would encourage you to do, I do a bi-monthly newsletter. Please go to StephanieForAurora.com, Stephanie for Aurora, on Facebook or on my website, and give me your email address. I will be happy to send you my newsletter, just in case you think I'm sitting on my hands. I'm not. There's lots of stuff that I'm doing, and I want you to know what I'm doing as well. And that concludes my report.
Well, thank you. Councilmember Lawson.
Thank you, Mayor. So I do want to say thank you, Mayor, and Councilmember Coombs, for attending the advocacy trip. I really appreciate Liz Rogers. She really had us prepared for that trip. You know, our voices were heard in Washington, and this trip has a lot of impact on a lot of the things that we are doing here in Aurora. So very impactful trip, and I really do appreciate all of the efforts and the teamwork that we had going to Washington. My legislative update for federal, state, and intergovernmental relations, let's start with the federal. Over the weekend, the House passed a $95 billion funding package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. It also included in the foreign aid package is legislation to curb the import of fentanyl and a bill that would force ByteDance to divest from TikTok or face a national ban on the social media app. On Saturday, President Biden signed legislation extending surveillance powers under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And let's talk, we're going to the state now. The Colorado Department of Education will distribute approximately $24 million from the State Education Fund to school districts and charter schools that recently enrolled new immigrant students. Just over 2 weeks remain in the Colorado Legislature 2024 session, and there is a multitude of bills that are starting quickly to move through the process. Our next Pfizer meeting is Friday, April 26th at Friday, April 26th at 8 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, I'm sorry, and will be virtual. I do want to thank everyone who attended my town hall at Heather Gardens. I really appreciate that attendance there. Our next town hall will be on April 30th at the Central Library from 6 to 8:30. And our topics are going to be the budget, and also the AFR, the Aurora Fire Rescue, is doing a strategic plan, and they're asking for a lot of input. We did this at the Heather Gardens, and it's very interesting. They have an app where you can go on there and actually answer the questions. And so as you're answering the questions, the poll comes up. So I found that really to be very, very successful, and I really do appreciate Chief Otten, and a lot of the firefighters did attend our meeting on that day as well. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. I just failed to mention a thank you to Assistant Chief Hunter Hackbarth, who did give the same, the strategic plan at my town hall meeting last Saturday, and Interim Chief Heather Morris gave an update on APD and Highline, and the Highline Canal Conservancy gave a presentation on improvements in the Highline Canal portion, particularly that runs through the city of Aurora. Oh, I'm in trouble. Councilmember Bergen.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, it's been a busy 2 weeks. I had policy committees, and then I had outside board meetings with E470, the Opioid Governance Council, and also I was invited to go to Grandview High School Amazon Future Engineers event, and Amazon awarded one of the students, one of the seniors there that's in the STEM program, a $40,000 scholarship. His name is Bruno Denegri, and actually his parents are in Peru, so he lives with his aunt right now, and his aunt was not being very subtle. She was like supposed to be hiding behind a wall, but he recognized her phone. So he knew something was up, but not 100% sure that he was going to get a scholarship. So it was very, very cool. I also had the pleasure of attending, not my own HOA, but another HOA meeting, Creeksides. We've got some issues to take care of. And what else did I do? Oh, the Aurora Chamber annual awards ceremony was on a Friday, and I was honored to be recognized. I want to say congratulations to Jason Batchelor, Man of the Year, and congratulations to Steve Sundberg for Small Business of the Year Legends. So that was a very fun event. And then, I also am going to be at the multimodal meeting at Towns Reach Library tomorrow night. And in closing, I'm just very excited that everyone supported the Careers in Construction resolution. I think it's going to be great for our city. So thank you.
With that, with no further business before the Aurora City Council meeting adjourned.